push record. Now, let me get rolling. Okay, so I mean, I think majority of consultants are doing at least a chunk of their business online now, and I bet she could hear. But it's really relevant to understand social media and the pros and cons of it, ways to actually use it to your advantage, because while it can be a thorn in our side, it's also a great way to connect with other people. We talk about the young kids these days, they're always in their phones, and really and honestly, it's the way the world is at this point. We have to find that balance of being in our phones, yet in the real world, and social media is a great tool to learn how to connect with others. But some of it's learning to use the right wording, because Facebook will almost hide salesy style posts. Those posts that you see, you know, hey, help me reach my goal. You won't see a lot of people getting to see those posts. Or, you know, things just about general and sales. It just the way Facebook wants you to find posts to get engagement, like, hey, what's your favorite recipe to make? Or, and that's a suggestion. Hey, out of these 4 foods, what's your favorite type? Or what's your favorite meal of the day? Those type of things to draw people in to start talking and creating conversation, to where eventually then you can take it off of the post and do it via messenger. Or maybe even share some recipes later on down in there. Hey, if you love breakfast, how about you try this dish? Or love lunch, try this. Because then you're offering a service and you're creating a connection where you're creating conversation that's going to be a little more two-way versus you just speaking at everybody else. And it's very handy to have those things to be interacting. If you look at the most successful people on social media, you're going to see they're doing that. I mean, they may talk about their products, and I never tell somebody don't talk about our product, but they're talking about it in a different way to where people aren't going, she's wanting me to buy something. I had a post the other day, I think you might have seen it, my quick slice post, my 6 pounds of strawberries in less than 10 minutes. I had a friend from high school go, hey, how do I get that? And it's like, that was in no way a salesy post, but it was a, look at this. This is making quick work of something that can take, 30 minutes or more. And they're like, yes, please. Because that's what people want, is solutions to problems. And that's what we can offer them if we word things right and do things right and approach it right. And that's where you kind of have to think about, I mean, you have to be flexible, but you also have to have your own personal brand. What about you? What will people know about you that you're like maybe the expert in, or you're really good with this type of theme, or you're really fun? There's certain attributes of yourself that are going to be part of your personal brand. And by the way, Chris, that video, that was a great video. And if it's not perfect, it's okay. Dajin, she had when she did a live not too long ago, she had her s'mores, like the marshmallows, catch on fire. She had flames coming off of her thing. In the middle of a live demo, everything was okay, but life happens. And so it's good for others to see, oh, she made that boo-boo. It's, it's going to happen. And that's just when you go, oh, yep, make sure you actually have it fully, tightened on. But then roll with it, because most people are going to love that about you. A lot of people, there are some people that don't love my family being on there because they're a little silly and they don't hold the camera right, whatever. But there's so many people that love seeing my family because it's real life. They're crazy. Sometimes they're sassy mouth. And it's just, a lot of people like that because we're creating a connection. So,
yeah, well, George said something that you probably shouldn't have on a video. And I thought, well, I don't know if people really heard that or not, but I'm not taking any chance. And then I couldn't stop laughing.
And it's the fun of it all. So, but those things are things we want to, it's going to create a little bit of laughter. Somebody's going to be like, oh, yeah, I totally would do that too. So it's okay. It really is. When I was doing a live video when we were down at the safari park with my sister, my sister pretended like she was a bird landing on me. And I did cuss a lot. And I'm like, oh well. But she scared the crap out of me, and I was so annoyed with her. But it's just, nobody really noticed it. I did point it out, and my mom was like, Sarah. But, it is what it is. So, but that's the beauty of it. People enjoy it. They think it's great. You're creating connection for various things. And I love to be able to do that. So, all right. So let's talk about getting these groups set up, because it's handy to know about. Now, are you using both a business page and a group, Chris?
I have both, but
Okay.
I use the group more than the business.
And you're finding more responses on your group now?
Yeah.
I find more responses on my group too. I think part of it is because it was established some before the group changes came. So all these people that were already in there, they've interacted with you, more people will see that type of stuff in the group. Now, people who are brand new, more and more people are suggesting doing the business page because there's less limitations and it's easier to boost some of that stuff. And it's easier to link things together sometimes. Like I have a business page and a group. I do kind of use both. I have a slightly different audience for both. But I love using my business page to connect all of my show groups because they always link back to my business page and my business group. So then they can opt which one they're going to look at because some people prefer different things. So, but creating your own VIP group and your business page are handy. Branding consultants, I say just create the business page right now because then that way you can link your groups to it and it's easier. So I have started doing events within my groups because now Cinchshare does allow it. So I've been starting to do that and I'm really liking it so far just because now you can't see how many people see the post, but it's just more people are more likely to actually see what's going on in the event. And what I've done is I get everybody to join and then I send all the invites to the event, which is already created. And I'll show how it looks on mine. And then I'll talk about how to schedule that type of stuff on Cinchshare and how to set that up. And then I'm going to show how to schedule posts on a business page. And as well as on a group within the business page, because some people will manually schedule their shows because they don't want to pay for Cinchshare yet. And that's okay. It's a little more time consuming manually scheduling everything. But if you don't want to pay the $100 for the year, I get it. I say that's one, maybe two good shows, and it frees up hours of time within a month with doing shows. So let me share my screen here. There we go. Negative. Okay. So here we are. I'm on my business. I'm on my main page. So I am going to show what a business page looks like first. So you can customize all sorts of things. You can make a slideshow here on your cover photo. I have my profile picture. I keep all Pampered Chef related. And I have mine as booking now, like as appointments, but of course I mean by booking a show. I can also do this as a, send a message. I can also do it as visit my group because I have a VIP group. So we'll have post where you can, hopefully it'll all show up here, where you will be able to boost post. It shows how many people are reached, how many engagements with the post, all of that kind of stuff. So, and I didn't comment on that. But so that's how you can do. Now, you can create groups that are linked to your business page because when I make a post, I can actually, so let me get it to actually, I always post as my person. So I'm gonna do something like, Okay, so I can go down here to publish. I can also, it says, see, I can go to schedule. Oh, you can backdate. That's cool. So I'm going to schedule that. Say I'm going to schedule it for, that says 3:34 p.m. So I'm going to go to schedule. And there it's getting ready and it's pending to schedule. So I can do that within my groups for any of my shows as well. So let me let it finish thinking. So now at the top of Facebook, and of course I'm going to show everything on desktop since I am on desktop. We're going to go to create. And I'm not going to fully create a show. I'm just group because I don't have any to do. So you can create a page. You can create an ad. You can create a group, event, a marketplace. So you're going to want to create a group for your shows. Naming your group, you're going to say, you know, Susie's Pampered Chef Party. Then you add someone. I have a dummy account, so I can add them, but you can add, you know, a spouse, a friend. You can add the host, whatever you want. I generally leave it as a closed group, so I'm going to pin this to shortcuts so I can delete it. So then when you're creating the group, you're going to be able to upload your cover photo. I generally do a the guest special of the month I have as my group photo. You can do whatever theme you're doing. You can do a product, any cover image. All you have to do is search cover images. And if you don't know how to find the marketing imagery, go back to my other video to see how you find marketing imagery. I'm not going to walk through that again. But so you're going to upload the video. I always change the description. What I'll do is I'll copy it from one of my previous groups. I'm just going to put in, you know, and then I put order link, close date, close in 1 week, da, 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 da. And then I am deleting this, so this whole la, la, la. Okay, so then I'll usually copy and paste this as a post on the group because I always leave a couple of things. Oh, I just left that on there, that's fine. That was what I had saved last. Okay, so let's say that's there. I'm going to mark that, click on this little arrow, mark it as an announcement. Now, I can link my existing group. So if you have a VIP group, you can link your existing group and click right there. It won't always show up, so I'll show you the alternate place to do it. So, oops, it would help to do it. Actually, I'll just click this top one. That's one of my past groups. And then I always write a post and say, join my VIP page. And then I make that an announcement, okay? And then I'll share my specials as an announcement. And I'll come over onto the other show and show you what my looks like, what my show currently looks like as a beginning one. Okay, this is one that starts tomorrow. As I said, I have the guest special up here, and I'll show you how to link all of this. But here's my description. It's in here. I always have that there. A lot of people don't notice the description, but that's okay. And on the left, you'll see about, discussion, chats, announcements, members, events. So we're going to click announcements. I'm going to show you the announcements that I have right now because I'm linking to events. So I copy the description, and that's the first one. My VIP group, I do not have the specials on here, but then I have where the event is. So, I'm going to go ahead and open that link in a new tab so I have that. And this is the event for the show. All you have to do is click in events on here and create an event and create it like you would any event, and it's linked directly to this group. This way, I'm going to show Cinchshare in a few minutes. You can post to Cinchshare very easily, okay? And then you can go straight from the event from here, or you can get to events from your main Facebook page, and I'll show that. Oh, darn it. Oh, and I gotta wait for that to go away. Okay, so now, group settings. In order to use Cinchshare, if you're gonna use a third-party posting service, let me try that again, you have to give it permission to be in your groups to be able to auto post. I also always link my business page. because then it's easy, like I said, to be able to link back and forth. I customize the color, but you can do a lot of different things. So you're going to click on this more right here. You can moderate groups. So I'm going to go to edit group settings, but you also notice down here, remember how I said you can link the existing group? It's down here, okay? Go to edit group settings. I was like, I think I just put, so you can change this little icon. You can change what kind of group type it is. You can make a location, but you're going to go to add an app, and then you're going to find Cinchshare if that's what you're using, and then you're going to click that, so then it has permission to post into that group. I link my page. Like I said, you link your page right here. You choose your color, which it seems to not save lately. And then I don't mess with a lot of these things. These are, you know, the privacy setting. These are badges that you can earn. These are posting permissions. You can decide if you want to change any of that. And then you just click save, and everything's saved. You will have to refresh the page, and then it'll pop up as interacting as your page. I always interact as myself because it's easier for it, but then you'll go back to discussion. And then announcements are always just the announcements, but then the full-on discussion is here, okay? So now let me carefully click to the event where I have it. So here's the event. You see it's an event for this group, hosted by me. I, of course, can, actually, I will add my host. All right, come on. She hasn't accepted it yet, so it won't let me. But have that, and I'm going to go to invite, and I don't know if she has anybody. She does not have anybody in the group yet. So you would generally invite. So I picked the wrong group here. But see, I just went to all my events. There we have all of these, and then I can go to upcoming, and you can get to past ones on calendar. You see right here. I'm not going to that. Okay, so I know Wendy has some people. So I'm going to go in here. So we have a couple going. I can go in and invite, and I select all and send invites. Okay, there we go. And that's all done. All right, so let's talk. Okay, so I showed you how to do those basic. Let's talk real quick about scheduling a post. Let me get back over on this mock group and go to discussion. All right, so as with this one, see down here under post, there's a little time. You're going to click that, and you're going to schedule the post. All right, so I'm going to say 3/3. Okay. Okay. 401. I have to go to 401. Okay. There, 402 apparently. Okay. So it's scheduling it. So when you're creating a show and using, I'm going to go to Cinchshare in just a second here once this is done, thinking you're going to have an outline. You're going to use Pampered Chef's images and decide what you want on your show. Generally speaking, I do a couple of get to know you posts, and then the day before the show starts, and then I do 3 days of posts that have games, products, and recipes. And I think it's about 8 posts per day, sometimes a little bit more, but it's going to be a couple extra like fun post type thing, and you are going to be forever. But let me show you. Let me go in here. Okay. I just want to make sure I didn't have to sign in again. Okay. So this is Cinchshare. We have 30 days free. Actually, I think it's 37 days free that you can use, and then it's $100 a year. So here's the benefit of doing Cinchshare. I have saved outlines here. I have pending outlines, and I have a full history of anything I've ever posted. So I can always go back and pick and choose posts and edit them and put them into a new show very easily. But I'm going to go to my pending show. So say I want to, I'm going to grab Charlotte's. She's right here on the top. I'm actually going to time shift hers. Hold on. All right, because she doesn't have her people in yet. So I'm going to go. I have all of this, all of my posts already scheduled, edited, everything. So I use a variety of things. I find games from one of the Pampered Chef groups. I will find images like this one here was from, this booking one was from one that Mary shared. This was a game one, this was an older one, and most of these are Pampered Chef images. And you'll notice some of them say that they have multiple images right here, because you can share multiple images, okay? And I do have some other basics shared too. So I'm going to select all, and you can copy them. So I could copy them and put them into a saved folder. I can time shift them, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to shift everything one day. So I'm going to add one day, and then I'm going to apply. So instead of manually having to go through and do every single one of those, I just rescheduled a show and edited the times in 30 seconds. So they're all still highlighted. So now I could go and batch post to somebody. I can also say find and replace, like say maybe I have March and I want to change the month. So I'm going to text March, and it'll just search it, and then you get onto the bottom and you click update. And of course it's not going to right now because I didn't change anything. That is a new thing that I just discovered. So exciting, exciting, exciting. So, all right.
Can you show me that again?
The find and replace, hold on, I'll show you in a second. All right. So in order to be able to, I didn't do anything. So, okay. So in order to be able to create a network, you have to come in and allow Cinchshare to pull from your network. So you're going to go refresh, and then anything that has the permissions is going to bring up, and then you're going to make the heart dark. So you can do that, and it's taking a second. Internet's not incredibly fast right now. I'm sure my family's all using it. So, all right, come on. Okay, so these are all on here. And you notice that some of these are now blue is because they have events attached to them. So I'm giving permissions for the events as well. And then anything that's linked to my business page, I also have down here. In order to initially link it, you click on those people and then you link those groups. So then they have permission. And of course, then make your heart dark, okay? So that's how you get a network. Chris, I'll come back to you and show you the find and replace. So when you're in a pending, you can select all, and then see down here where it's find and replace. So
right.
say you use your host name, you can go through and change automatically every single post that says maybe from Cindy to Charlotte, which is what I did. So it's going to go change all of those. Or maybe the order link, you can go and change it from one thing to another. So, yes, it's very handy.
That.
It's so much faster than because then you're not forgetting, like, oh, I forgot to change my host name in this one post. It's going to find all of it for you. So it's much quicker. A lot of times I generalized and didn't put my host name in there because I would always forget. And people would be like, hey, who's that? And I'm like, sorry. Pampered, not perfect, will I always say. So that's a fun little tip that you can do. So let me go into like actually scheduling a post so I can show how you select the network and all of that real fast. Okay, I don't want to put mine on Instagram. So say I'm going to go into Ellen's show. Actually, I'm going to go into Cindy's show because I'm getting ready to do. Just a reminder, tomorrow is the day the show closes. Okay, so I would find some type of picture, because I always like to have a picture. But I can also, so if you're not going to use a link, you can do a picture. So say I'm not going to keep this picture. So I'm going to put this on here. Okay. You can do that. And of course, I want to, oh, darn it. Okay, cancel. Okay. I forget how to I forget how to get rid of the picture. But anyways, so I can post the link though. So say I want to post her show order link. I'm going to go right here in this little box. And I'm going to post her link. And then what I do is you click the link button right here. So now it's posting a photo of it. And I want to use that photo URL, which is fine. But so that's on there, and it'll show up in the post. And let me go up and I'm going to schedule it. I'm going to schedule it today. And of course, it's going to be 3:41 p.m. Schedule post. I can also click here on the right and save it, but I'm going to schedule it, okay? And there, it's in there. I can edit it, I can copy it, or I can delete it from here. It'll also show up as a pending post right here under the little check boxes. Let me clear Charlotte's name here. It's right there. So I can come in here and edit. There we go. Forgot, you click on, okay, so if you want multiple photos, you click on this little photo and you can add up to 10 photos and even do captions for some of it. So I'm going to edit that, and it's going to ask me if I want to return to my page. But so that's how you edit a post. That's how you quickly share and set up. So like what I'll do is a lot of times in 1 month, I'm going to schedule my whole entire show for my first show. And I'm going to take and I'm going to select it all, say from Wendy's, okay. I'm going to take and I'm going to select all, and I'm going to batch post. So I've just done all of hers, and say I want to have hers scheduled starting tomorrow. I'm going to do Cindy's, and I'm not actually going to finish this 3:42 p.m. tomorrow. I'm going to click apply interval, and it's going to automatically, oh, I accidentally scheduled Instagram. It's all the way at the bottom. So I'm going to apply interval again, and it's going to automatically schedule the whole show. So up here, that find replace is also in here, Chris. Hold on. Sorry, that's not it. It's this one. So it's the binoculars right here. So again, text the find. I can say Wendy, and I want it to go to Cindy, and it's going to search, it's going to find, and you're going to update.
Okay.
So that, and then all you have to do is click schedule batch, and your whole entire show is scheduled. So it just took you, say, 2 hours to create the first outline, but it took you 30 seconds to schedule the whole next show. Now, sometimes I'll go through and change the games within the month, or change onesies, twosies of posts, but I'm not changing the whole outline for the majority of the month. So that's what I do, and it saves me a lot of time. So now, let's remember, we did, and it's still just sitting there. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so we remember that we were scheduling a post. So if you were to do that, you have that outline. Say you're doing your show. You could even make an outline on Microsoft Word with all the wording, and then go in. But you're going to go in and you're going to type up your post or copy and paste it, and then you're going to schedule every single post for your show. It's probably going to take you, after the initial creating of the show, that first one's probably going to take you probably 2 hours still. But then every other show that you're going to have to copy and paste and add the pictures, it's probably going to take you about 30 minutes for each show. So Cinchshare is faster, but it does cost a little bit of money. So you have to decide whether it's more efficient for you to do it, because then you're able to post whether you're busy or not. You're not having to remember it. Scheduling is the same way, but it just takes a little time to sit down and do it. So, good. Okay. All right, sorry. All right, so does that make sense? All right, so with a group, here's the upside and downside. Let me come to one of my older groups where I was still posting in one of them. All right, let's do the mega show. So upside of groups is you can see how many people see a group. People now have to click to join, which is handy, because then that way you don't get people that don't want to be in there. They're actually saying, okay. So I've been sending them in a message, having my host just send them a message with the link. I told them they can invite them, but then that way, if they invite, then they have that link. All they're doing is clicking join and going in and looking at the group. So they're manually going into the group and they're looking through. They want to be there to at least check it out. Whether they order or not, that's different. So, okay. So it was seen by 34, not seen by 28. So you can see who doesn't see. I can message them, all of that kind of stuff. All right. So you can see how many people are seeing it based upon how many people are in your group. Okay. So that's good to kind of look at that insight. And then here we have group insights too. So, of course, this is, this week. You have all of those. Hold on, there's more engagement details. So you got engagement to see how many people are engaging in post. So there's 46 posts. You can see how many posts, how many comments, all that kind of stuff. How many active members there were. So you can see when the popular times are. So the most popular time was like 5 p.m. really. Okay, and then look at Thursday, Friday, Saturday right there. Okay, so sometimes that helps to know when you should be scheduling your posts then. Okay, oh, these are the times where everybody was looking. I should schedule it this way, right? So that's always helpful to know. All right, let's go back to the discussion. So hold on, I was thinking. So you can see that the upside is you can tag up to 50 people on a post. Through the app, you can actually just go and select the people's names, so it's easy instead of having to remember everybody. People see this much stuff. You can see who sees it. You have the comments. What did you throw? Oh, Jesus. Okay. Anyways, it's easy again to share the links. The downside is not everybody is seeing the post. This one happened to be where a lot of people knew that they were in here, they were active, most of them were past hosts, they're very involved, and then there's other consultants. So this is pretty active. And it's a new group, so you haven't had a rapport schedule built yet, not scheduled. You don't schedule rapport. So it takes a little bit extra time to build that where people are going to see the post because they're coming in and they're going to see it in their newsfeed. They're not always getting notifications about the post. They may see it in their newsfeed, but it is not necessarily going to happen. So, again, it's like the Facebook algorithm. It's on that highway, and not everybody's going to see posts. So we have to try to make sure our host understands that the guest may not see the post. So we have to act accordingly and coach accordingly when it comes to a group. Groups can be great for connection, especially long term, but for shows, sometimes they can be a little wonky. We have to have the host understanding how to be engaged, how to draw the people in, not being afraid to tag their friends, and they may have to do a little more follow-up with private messages than what they would normally do. But no matter what, private messages matter, okay? Getting off of the regular Facebook feed and going into somebody's messages, it matters because that means you've taken at least 30 seconds out of your time to go say, I'm thinking about you. I noticed that you're in here. It matters, okay? Thank you. If you're interested, and then that way they can respond to you privately. It's easy that way. So that's like the upside of all the stuff with the groups. The downside is, of course, some people don't see it. You can schedule a post in the group. Of course, again, same thing. You can do polls, you can do gifts, you can do live, anything that you want. You decide how you're going to do all of it. Then I have the newer stuff with events, and I have one that's already posted. Now, groups do not stay in order. The most recently commented thing is going to be on the top. On an event, and you notice I get to it from the left-hand side. Cindy's show's going on. So I can edit her end time at this point. So I have how many are going. You notice that you can message guests, and she can as well message all of her friends all at one point. So she can select everybody, type in the message, and then click send, okay? And she can even select it from all of them, okay? And then it stays in order. So everything that's in here is here and in order. and then you see how many comments. And this show was not active. This host never has a really active show, but she's always fine, so that's fine. I don't mind. I like to just be a resource. But this is how I do it lately. More people have been seeing post notifications from events. So I've been testing this out for this month. So whether you do an event or a group, it's great. I'm keeping my events linked to a group because then I can manually have Cinchshare post for me, and I'm not having to manually post. So those are kind of the two pros and cons of each one. Both are great setups. However you pick to do it, it doesn't matter. So any questions? Does that make sense?
Okay, I'm confused. You said Cinchshare can do your posting in events. Does that mean it can't do it in groups?
No, it can do both. Now remember,
okay.
A couple of months ago, Cinchshare, well, Facebook took away the ability for Cinchshare to post in events, right?
Yeah.
Well, they've added it back, but it has to be an event linked to a group. It can't just be a plain event. So I've been creating my party groups first and getting the people in there. Well, I have an event created already, and then I invite them and I post to that event.
Okay.
So that way all the posts stay in order, and they're getting more of the notifications that way. Just like more of you guys are getting those notifications for the event that I created for this training, right? So it's a little thing that Facebook has kind of changed up with the way notifications go. I mean, you'll still see groups in your newsfeed, but a lot of times you're not always getting notifications. And sometimes it's a half a day or a day later, or you won't even see a post until you go into the group. So
I don't know
just be aware of.
I don't know if it's the fact that you talk really fast, or it just seems like it's a whole lot more work than just creating a group.
Well, it is one extra step. It really is one extra step with changing from an event to a group, because all you're doing is in that group, then you're having to add the event, and then on Facebook you click the event. So when you're scheduling on Cinchshare, it's the same, because I mean,
Right.
it's all going to link the same. So it's essentially one step. I have been, you know, you can change people's RSVPs, right? Unless they click no. So
What do you mean?
you can change somebody's RSVP.
You can.
So I can change you from a yes to a maybe in that event that we created from our group.
I didn't know that.
Yes, so a lot of people who have an RSVP say maybe they've already put in an order, or they've said, yes, I plan to order. But in this case, with me creating the group, going to the event, I am changing everybody to a yes. So then that way they are, because they've said, yes, I'm joining the group, right? So I am interested in the party. If they want to change it to a no, that's okay. Not a big deal. But then that way I'm ensuring that they are getting at least a chunk of the notifications. Because I have changed to yes, if they have their notifications on. Some people do turn all notifications off, and that's okay. But it's more likely that more people are going to see the post that way. And they've already said, yes, I'm going to join the group, so we know that they're interested in the party. So I just changed them all over to yes. But that's what I do. And it works right now, but it is one extra step for us, but it should create less work for our host, because lately our host, and I mean, we've talked about it with the way some of your shows have been going with having a little more crickets, and even when a host is involved, sometimes like not everybody's seeing the posts because of the way groups are lately. So the events we tested in our team page, right, where I posted at the same time in the group and in an event that we had, and more people saw the event notification and responded because of it. So that matters. We want people to be able to click in. So that little bit, because then that means more people are interacting. So the host is hounding less people, right?
Okay.
And then that way they kind of know who's more, so then they'll follow up with those people first, and then the other people, you know, hey, just a reminder, it's just an easier gauge. And that was why I stayed with events for so long before is because I liked that fact, that it was easier to message everybody all at once, because you can message up to 50 people at once on an event by just clicking how I showed you with the RSVP list, and then clicking the names and sending the same message to everybody. And then they have the event link right there. So it's easier. But, you know, there's the upsides, downsides to both. There's one extra step, but at the same time, with the way Facebook is gone, we're more likely to see these, and we want people in the party because we want to connect with them and we want our host to succeed. So, you know, pick and choose and make it yours, but just understand those factors of it
Right.
all.
But with a group, you can see who's actually seeing the post and just not participating.
Yeah, and I mean, they might see and scroll on by, and that's okay. But it's a way just to kind of, you know, have more people seeing the at least notification, and more likely to have more interaction. Some people, you know, go with what you're comfortable with. That's the beauty of the virtual shows. Some people have always been with groups and will always stay with groups. Some have still stayed with events, and that's okay. Work it however you want. Do your outline however you want. Schedule it however you want. Just, you know, roll with whatever works for you. So, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does.
I thought I'd walk through both ways, kind of a quick overview on how to, you know, just schedule a post from both Cinchshare and manually. You know, there's pros to each. I prefer to pay it a little bit, because then occasionally when I have things mentally going on, or I had something pop up, like I have to go run something to my kid's school or an unexpected doctor's appointment, I know my show posts are still going. Or if I'm just beat at the end of the day and didn't feel like going in and posting, I don't have to. I can just respond when I get the notifications and have time. So, but always remember, make sure we're responding to people. It is important for you to ask questions for follow-up, ask questions in your post. Make sure you thank people for their orders, thank people for being involved. You know, when people are commenting on posts, I always be like, oh, that's a great item, especially when they're commenting on product posts or recipes. I always respond directly to them, because it matters. People appreciate that about you. Even if it's a day or two later, just make sure you are responding, because people will appreciate that. Because then you are showing that you're trying to make connections. And again, connection is the most important thing. Any questions?
No?
I know you've been doing this a decent amount. So, and I'm sure some people might have to watch this twice, but between the two videos I've done lately, I think it really gives a good picture for new or old consultants to figure out how to really make social media and these groups and stuff work for them. Not every show is a great show. You're going to have flops. The best of us do. It's just keep moving forward and knowing those basics to keep going and having fun with it. So, all right, I'm going to stop the recording.